Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Almost a Party. We are on episode 36 now, and we are in the middle of Elandiel's pilgrimage. The players last session went through a grueling fight with Shadow, or a shadow of Shadow, I guess, based on what is happening in the pilgrimage. And after surviving that and continuing on, we left off with one of the pilgrimage fires turning into yellowish smoke and enveloping Ore, who finds himself standing inside of a tower. Ore, as you begin to look around, you get the idea that this is very familiar to you. You don't remember any of the specifics right away, but as you kind of sit there and your eyes adjust to the new environment, you're able to pick it up and recognize you've been here before. Most of your life, in fact, you have spent in this tower. As you are getting up and examining the room, you hear voices in a door just beyond on the other side of the room.
What does the room that I'm currently in look like for me?
So for you, this room, it's a fairly small room with a little bit of furniture in there, mostly just places where you can sit down and be in your inactive state. This is your bedroom, essentially.
Is there a desk, book, anything written down, anything that looks like it would be personally mine?
No.
And what type of voices do I hear? I'm assuming coming from outside the door.
Yeah, you hear one which seems to be a male voice and another which seems to be a female voice.
I go to the door and I exit looking for the sources of the voices.
Okay. So as you go over to the door and you open it up, you don't understand what is being said. It's being spoken in a language that you're unable to comprehend. As you open the door to look for the source of the voices, you see out in this much larger study area, there are two figures, one a gnome and the other a cloaked female. You recognize the gnome immediately as Jinzen. As you come in, they stop their conversation. The gnome turns to you and, switching to a language that you do understand into the common tongue, Ore, you're awake. I didn't expect you to come out so soon. Is everything okay?
I take a moment to kind of take that all in and I kind of look around the room, look at the cloaked figure, look back at Jensen, and with the experience we've had for the previous couple of days, I recognize that this is a vision from the campfire, right?
Right.
I believe I am okay.
Very well. Is there anything that you need right now?
I am overloaded with response. However, can you introduce me to your friend here?
He gives you a very puzzled look. You should know who she is. She is here all the time. She comes and visits us quite frequently. How is it that you do not recognize her?
I do not understand exactly the right way to explain this. I believe you are a vision that I am currently experiencing. From my understanding, all of this is the past to me, and my memory is incomplete. Looking at the cloaked figure, is it indicative of Thalia from the last time I had that vision with her speaking?
It is the same figure, and you notice as you kind of focus in on the cloak that the cloak shimmers and shines as if reflecting the night sky, although you can't see outside at this moment.
I believe she is Thalia.
As you say that, Jinzen gives a hearty laugh and he goes, "Oh, pranking me! You did recognize her very well. If you excuse us, we have some important business to talk to." And they begin heading towards the door on the opposite side of the room. As Thalia steps out, Jinzen turns to shut the door behind him and he says, "Ore, it is best that you stay here or in your room for now. I will be back up to see you when I am done with this conversation."
Understood. When they exit out of this room, I'm gonna try and observe what room they're entering into, like what specifically is past them as the door is open.
Yeah, so as the door is open, it is a hallway way that leads into the rest of this tower. Where they go beyond that, you'll have to either get close enough to open the door and look, but they are going outside and they could go anywhere within this tower from there.
Right. The room that I'm standing in that they're vacating, what is this room?
This is a study, so there are desks and books all around. There are a lot of charts that map the night sky as well, just spread out over the table currently.
I am gonna start investigating the charts of the night sky to determine what section of the sky it is, like what stars are present, if there's any specific constellations I need to take note of, if there's dates, and kind of look through the paperwork. Is there a window in this room?
There is not.
Yeah, I'm going to take in the information that's currently on display and uh, try and take in as much detail from this office as I can. Um, Basically, investigate it for a few minutes before I'm gonna follow him through that door in a minute.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you investigate getting an idea of the timeline that you're in, your brain as it's adjusting to this, and your memories are creating conflicts of that, and it takes you quite a while to understand what year it is in this memory, but you piece it together as the day that you lost everything.
The moment I realize that, I go through the door that they had exited through. I'm sure it's been a few minutes, so they're probably not on the other side, but I'm going to start working my way through the tower.
Okay. Yeah. As you open the door and begin making your out, the voices have gotten much louder. Again, speaking in that language that you do not understand. And but you can tell that they're both angry and scared at the same time with the discussions. You can tell just from the tone of the voice.
Uh, Through this hallway, is there anything of note in this hallway? Tapestries, paintings, other windows, other people?
There aren't any other people in this tower. You know that this tower has always just been um, you and Jinzen, and then occasionally the Star Mother herself would come and talk with you. You know that this is the tower where that is in the northern part of Haptherini
Okay,
that has the yeah.
this is my tower from my memory.
Yeah, this is Moongazer's Spire, and so it has the massive telescope up top to observe the sky.
I am going to start heading towards the telescope, And again, making note of anything of interest as I make my way through finding the telescope room.
Okay. Yeah. So as you make your way up, the voices get quieter and quieter as you're going away from them. You make your way up to the top of the tower and you can see the telescope is out and ready and open. You can see that it is currently the daytime. And so it's not a great time to peer up into the sky to see where all of the stars are as the sun is illuminating the sky.
Is there anything in this room that stands out as something that I do not currently remember?
No, it's all as your memories of this place are. As
You
your
said it's
Go
you
ahead.
said it's daytime out the window. Can I rush to the window and see
So
what looks like
it's
outside?
not a window; it's an open like observatory ceiling. So the telescope is out,
Oh,
and so you can see out into the sky as the sun pours in.
right, but not over the rest of the land. It's just all aimed up.
Right. Correct.
Got it. Can I make a note of where it's aimed in the sky? If I pull out my astrolabe and I do some calculations on it to determine where it's focused, can I make the same assessment of where direction in the sky it's pointed to?
Okay, so you want to start calculating where it's likely pointing in the sky. Yeah,
Correct.
so you break out your tools and begin to work on that. Um, After about an hour of work and calculations, you hear a voice coming from outside. Ore, are you in here?
Yes, I am. And I don't stop. I'm still working on the calculations.
And the door opens and Jinzen comes through. I need to talk to you about something rather important.
Please proceed, but I will continue my work here now, and I'm going to keep working on the calculations while I listen to him.
Ore, the Star Mother and I have been discussing. There is a lot of pain, darkness in the future, and we've made a decision, and that decision impacts you. I'm sorry,
Please
Ore.
continue.
And with that, the last thing that you remember is a sharp jolt of pain in your back as you wake up around the campfire.
Oh, so he did something to turn me off at that moment.
So, you're laying across the campfire, your friends all there around. The fire has returned to normal colors, and the smoke has drifted away. You can tell by looking up into the night sky that the sun will be coming up shortly.
So I'm lying prone, completely prone on the ground, as though I had fallen to the ground here.
Correct.
I sit up abruptly. Are any of my compatriots awake at the campfire?
Currently, none of them are awake. They are all currently sleeping. Um, Mizeki, you still pop into your ring every night, even during this, correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So Mizeki is not visible currently, but the rest are there. But this is standard process for you with Mizeki always disappearing to sleep at night,
But
Right,
the
right.
elves are trancing, right?
and
So
the elves are
Yeah,
they'll.
or
transing.
yeah.
They don't sleep. The only one that actually sleeps that you notice is Satsi. The other two trance, but they are currently not aware or focusing on you.
I reach back and I feel my back where I remember getting tased or wherever the sharp pain is. I'm going to start filling around that for any kind of damage or inconsistency in my exoskeleton.
Everything's just as much as you remember it from the last couple of years that you remember waking up in Drusus. No damage from what you can tell, nothing new. Everything just the same as it was.
Does it feel like there's a panel or a switch or something that I perhaps something that I just don't recognize about myself in that around that area?
No. You are you completely. There's nothing that you don't recognize about yourself here.
And it's still night, but you said it's just before dawn. Sun's about to rise. Is the
Correct.
moon visible in the sky?
It is currently visible in the sky.
What's the radius of the campfire's effect?
The radius of the campfire's effect, um, so it's 100 feet in all directions, so 100 foot radius from the campfire.
I am going to walk away from the road to the farthest edge of the campfire's radius,
Okay.
kneel down, and start trying to pray to Thalia.
Okay. Is there anything particular that you are praying?
Sure. I'll kneel down and I'll focus up at the moon and I'll quietly, Thalia, if that vision is accurate of that last day, please send a sign, some guidance. I believe you have sent me here for a purpose. What is that purpose? And I'm just going to focus in on the moon and I'm going to kind of take it in a little bit and I'm going to just listen to the world around me, to nature, the crackle of the fire, any wind, critter or whatever moving in the grass. Just kind of take in this moment, hoping for some sort of inspiration.
Okay. As you are focusing and staring up into the sky and submitting this prayer to the Star Mother, you notice as the moon begins glowing just ever slightly brighter than normal. For about 5 seconds before it returns to normal. And as the sky begins to brighten, as the sun begins to come up, you feel an overwhelming peace come over you.
Okay. It brightened. I feel the light on me. I feel at peace. I am going to just kind of stay in this moment um, until I hear the rest of my party get up and start moving around. But I'm just going to take in this moment.
Okay. So the first sound that you will hear will be Mizeki popping back into this plane of existence as his time in the ring expires.
This involves a very loud stretching.
The elves begin to come out of their trances. Zadzi slowly wakes. The fire is now completely gone out, as it has been every morning when everybody has awoken. What would you all like to do? You all notice that Ore is not sitting around the campfire in the place where he was during the night, but instead out at the edges of the magical effects of the campfire.
Yeah, I'm just sitting out there, kind of taking in the sunrise, diverting my attention back to the moon, kind of back and forth between the sunrise and the moon. And I'm completely listening to everybody wake up and get, stirring around, but I'm where I am.
I do my morning stretches um, after doing my um, trance, and I'll look and see. But if he does it, I'll kind of give him his or a space if I see him over there, unless I see any like indication that he wants anything. I'll kind of just watch and give him space.
Good morning. I am fine. Let me know when we're ready to depart. And I'll just stay out there in the field.
Would Z2 have seen Ore fall over? Z2 don't need no sleep.
True. Z2 does not need any sleep. So, yes, he would have known that Ore at some point during the night did slump over, lying on the ground entirely instead of his typical stance when he goes into an inactive state. But it would have been after seeing the smoke surround him and dissipate. So, as far as Z2 knows and sees, the smoke, which has gone out amongst all of you guys several times on this trip, enveloped Ore, and when it dispersed, Ore was lying on the ground prone instead of his typical stance.
So Z2 doesn't have a vocalizer, but he's gonna pull some R2D2 moments and go over and pat Ore on the back and then pantomime him falling over and then like put his hand up like, what? When Ore is by himself, not from everybody else.
But does a lightsaber come out of him?
Saving that for when we need it in battle.
Beep boop boo.
Ore, any reaction to Z2 coming over and pantomiming falling over?
I'll just watch him fall over, see that if he's injured, and kind of look back at Zirdig, who I'm sure is standing there watching everything.
Ore just starts laughing. Ah, stupid robot.
That is very
Zerdig,
entertaining.
yeah, he's fine with it. He's a little bit happy that Z2 shows some initiative and he didn't have to tell him what to do. He's gaining sentience.
Dun dun
That's
dun.
scary.
It's
Are you saying that
alive.
out loud?
No, Zerdig's not saying he's
Oh.
gaining sentience. No, that's me, the player.
Because
Anyway.
or I would have had a response saying, "As I understand it, it will take time." Would have been the response.
No, Zerdig will just watch Z2 and see these with Ore and kind of let him do his thing, and then get back to eating breakfast or whatever.
Okay. So as you go about your morning routines, Elandiel, this is your pilgrimage. Do you wish to stick to the road this time, or venture off and risk another tragic encounter with
After
wildlife?
after our last encounter, I definitely want to stick to the road for a
Okay.
while.
All right. You begin your travel, and after about 4 hours, you come across the next campsite.
I'll keep going,
Okay.
and now that it's been a good couple hours, I'll kind of slow down a little bit and ask Ore about his vision, if there's anything he wants to share, how it was, um, if it's been characteristic of what we've been sharing before, of primarily traumatic events, or if it had a good one.
I'm
And
greatly
again,
appreciate
completely up to if he wants to share or not.
if
If Ore says
Elandiel comes
nope,
back and
you'll
just
respect
yeah,
it.
if Elandiel comes back and starts like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" Or I will reply, "I'm. I feel very fortunate to accompany you on this pilgrimage. My experience last night was eventful. I believe it gave me an
Oh,
answer and some additional questions. But from our experience, I believe that is par for the course.
I feel like that's a big part of mortality is answers and questions. I'm glad to hear that you got one of yours answered, though.
I am too. Again, thank you for including us, letting us accompany you on this pilgrimage.
Thank you for coming. After that first campfire, I don't know. I thoroughly don't believe I'd been able to make this successfully on my own. It's been an honor having you along. All of you. I say that to anybody eavesdropping.
I believe we all share the same sentiment. Perhaps it is our destiny after all that we found each other. I believe we
Seems
are
like
all
there's
exact.
something greater.
I do feel that we are all exactly where we need to be.
As you have this conversation with Elandiel, you remember bits and pieces of the words that you overheard in the language that you didn't understand. And you realize that you've heard Elandiel speak similar words. Not quite the same, but he might have an
Elan-
idea of what was said.
Elandiel, in my vision, Jinzin spoke in a language that I do not speak, but I've heard you speak before. Can you tell me what, and I'll just repeat some of the words, what any of these words mean? And I'll just kind of repeat what I remember hearing.
Okay. So you repeat the words to Elandiel. Um, Elandiel, you kind of understand what Ore is saying, and you're not entirely sure if it's because Ore is mispronouncing the word since he doesn't understand the language, or if it's a dialect that you don't understand. You know that Ore's from an ancient time compared to you, and language evolves and adapts over
Hmm.
time. And so you're not sure if this is just an ancient form of celestial or Ore just sucks at pronouncing. But
Lots of these and those.
you get the idea that the concept is, what if something changes him when we do this?
Now that is something I've not quite heard before. It sounds a little similar from the communication that I've had and from my schooling among the priests. Sounds like there was fears of somebody talking about someone being changed by their actions. In what way, I can't tell, um, but concern.
Changed by their actions.
That's the
Interesting.
best I can make of it.
Thank you. I believe that is further helpful to interpret my vision.
Welcome. I hope that gives you another little answer.
So as you continue on making your way down the path towards the next campfire, it's only in another 2 hours after passing the previous one before you reach the next one. So you've been traveling for 6 hours this day.
I'll probably stop here. Um, yeah,
Okay.
don't want to push a long interval. I feel like a couple short ones together might be followed. So seems like a nice place to rest.
All right. Anybody wanting to do anything different than your typical meditation rituals that you've established over the last week?
Ore will take a few minutes, pull out his book, and start jotting down and writing on a couple of pages near the back of the book. Um, as much detail as he remembers. What Elandiel said is a loose translation of the wording, and just kind of make note of that whole experience before
Okay.
I go back into the same meditative state.
All right. Anybody else wanting to do anything different?
Miseki is going to have glared at all wildlife they saw along the way today, just on principle.
Okay. You
You just can't hurt it.
get the voice
And
in your head and goes,
yeah,
"You really do like to hold grudges, don't you?"
holding grudges is what horses are good at.
But you're not a horse.
Of course, of course.
Damn you! I was going to make that joke.
Well, you can because you're the only one that heard it. So,
It's too late now. The joke's been made. We have to just move on.
all right. Well, if no one is doing anything differently tonight other than Ore doing his notes, I would like you all to go ahead and roll a percentile dice for me for this evening.
100. No cap.
You lost your hat?
Never had one to begin with.
That's fair.
97.
12.
Is it? How do I roll dice?
Looks like it's about time to die.
It's all weird.
86.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have dice roll turned on this browser for some reason. Hold on.
Got it. Okay.
Dice rolling. There we go. $30.
Did I get a long rest with that last experience?
You did not.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So, as you were all sitting there around the campfire, you watch as the meditation goes, and you slowly see as the flames begin to change. Zerdig, you watch as they shift into this soft white color, and the smoke begins to billow out and surround you and Z2. And as it does, it slowly shifts, and you find yourself staring at a workbench that you've seen once before.
In Manway?
On Manway, yes, in the City of Steel.
Yeah.
You see yourself looking at your tools, at what you're working on. The gun that you've been designing, you feel a sudden flash of inspiration of how you can accomplish it quicker. You begin to get to work, the tools magically coming to your hands as you're going. Everything just comes naturally to you. You go and you go and you build. You're there what seems like hours that fold into days, that folds into weeks, into months. Never tiring, never gaining hunger. You work and work, and finally, you stop and you look at what you've done. And there it is, the best thing that you have ever created.
Yes, I made that.
You look at it, you pick it up, you examine it, every bit, just as you envisioned, when you hear a knock at the door.
Zerdig's learned this lesson once before. He's not opening that door. No, I'm just kidding. He will. he'll take the gun in hand and he'll open the door. But he will be ready because last time this happened, he literally died. But it was a dream.
All right.
So he opens the door.
You open the door, and standing there, um, in front of you, you see Alvin Glitterbelt, or as you all have come to deem him, Nomi Stark.
Nomi Stark. Yes.
He goes, "You've been here for quite some time. I figured it was good that I come and check on you. You had only booked the room for 6 hours, yet you've been in here for 12.
You owe us
Ah,
8 million gold.
yes. Sorry. How much gold do I owe you? I got lost in just in the work.
As you say this and ask the question, you notice his eyes lock onto your gun that you have made. And he looks at that and he goes, "Did you make that just now?
Yes, Zerdig says proudly.
May I see it, please?"
Sure thing.
And he begins to take it and look it over just as you did, remarking as he goes about the quality. He goes, "This is the finest craftsmanship I have ever seen. I don't think I myself could make something so pure."
Well, thank you. I poured my soul into it. Zerdig was saying he's like beaming because this is like his idol.
He goes, "You are welcome to come and use our equipment anytime. I would be happy to watch you work the next time that you are here." And as he says this, you find yourself waking up at the campsite and you're looking around, all your friends still in their trances in the sleep, but you feel on your back something that wasn't there when you went to sleep.
Nice.
It's
And
the
you reach up and you
expectations of
pull it
your idol.
out, and there is your completed gun.
The finest gun ever made. Zerdig is like super pumped, but he's not of super excitable type, so he'll take the gun before him and just kind of like hold it gingerly, like it's like an artifact, and just like look at it. And he like feels the mental drain. Like he'll assume it's some sort of like time dilation effect because he's like, I built this, right? Like he's like, I did it in my dream. And he'll just like look at the gun like it's a miracle of technology and just sit there and enjoy it till everybody else wakes up. Probably Elandiel first, and then he'll share with Elandiel kind of like this awesome experience he's had, and he's gonna cherish this gun for a long time.
Okay. As
Well,
you.
for the rest of us, since Ore would be awake during all of this, we all know from our perspective he's always had that gun since Manway, right?
Yeah, from your trip when he went into the room on Manway to work on things, you knew that he was working on it. He had been working on it before there, but he came out of it from Manway also with what he claims was an invitation to come back and work with Alvin Glitterbelt anytime. And so, from all of your perspectives, he's had this for a while.
I can
Uh,
only imagine we'll see like copies of his gun later.
Yeah.
as I noticed that he's the first to move and starts like inspecting his weapon, I'll say to him, Zerdig, is there an issue with your firearm?
He'll look up to Ore and he'll say, no, Ore. I'm just remembering when I made this. You remember back in Steel?
I do. You were phenomenal in your craftsmanship of it. You've been very proud of it since.
Sometimes you just wake up and enjoy the little things in life. This is my life's, and he like holds the gun up. My life's greatest achievement. There will be more to come, but it's great to appreciate what you've created. I bet that your creator felt the same about you. And he's kind of like waxing nostalgic just about his creations. He looks at Z2 as well.
I don't have memories of my creator saying that every morning. But it's nice that you have a ritual that every morning you claim that that firearm is the most amazing thing that you have ever assembled.
Yes, not out of pride or hubris, just out of appreciation. We all have a gift, a spark, and I've known since childhood that mine was artificery. Um, and it seems like he has a lot more that he wants to say, but he's not one usually to speak so much, and then he just kind of leaves it at that and says, "Yeah, I'm proud." Uh, and this gift is something that needs to be shared with the world to make it a better place.
I feel like this sort of further solidifies the fact that we just went to the Undermountain area and stole this prodigy child and left with him.
I think we're all okay with that.
So
Like, yeah,
this
it
is
doesn't bother us, but like, we probably shouldn't have.
What?
paradoxically,
We absconded with your gifted child? Whoops.
and now his gifts are for the entire world when they could have had them all to himself in the Undermountain. Now, I think there's a very good discussion to be had, though, of like, not to get too much into meta commentary, but it's like he saw all of Nomi Stark's designs, right? And so it's kind of like full circle because he'd been working on this gun concept. We went to steal. He saw all those schematics, and it kind of was like a flurry of info for him because you take this like artifice prodigy child and show him all of the latest cutting edge blueprints, and he's like, "Oh, I get how that works," and just like, learned all of it instantly. So I think there's a lot to be said that he probably wouldn't have become this good if he hadn't been exposed to the outside ideas and things as well.
That's fair. But
Uh,
now, as soon as you get slightly older, we're going to abandon you.
yeah, but
Uh,
this was his second experience with this. So the first time, obviously, he was very bewildered and didn't know what was going on. Now I think he's kind of got it figured out. That's why he was asking Ori that question. And so he's starting to piece together like there's something going on with these mists thing. Because in his recollection, he definitely didn't have this gun. But he's going to talk to all of you about that too and kind of piece together that you're all like, yeah, you've always had this gun. And he's not going to lead
Ever
on that
since
he
Steel.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
every morning at camp, when you break camp, you say how amazing that weapon is.
It'd be nice if you ever used it in combat.
I
I'm
Well,
mean,
we're
surprised
about to.
when we met Nomi Stark last time in Drusus, you didn't, talk more about, that opportunity he offered you.
it's also very interesting that Zerdik has a completely different experience with the flames than everybody else. Because every time they've messed with him, something has affected him. Whereas everybody else, it's just been mind games, with the exception of Elandiel once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Mizeki's
one of
general
them,
opinion about this place is that it's stupid.
I mean, in his mind, it's kind of balancing out though, because one of them gave him even more crippling fear, and the other one gave him an awesome gun. So, getting killed by a crazed, almost demigod, not great.
I have been given both PTSD and this gun.
Which I will name PTSD. All
No, you
right.
gotta name it the power of friendship.
So, as you all are waking up in the morning and Zerdik is going on and on about his gun again, you enjoy your breakfast, and it is a new day with which you can set out on adventure. Elandiel, your call.
Let's push along the road for a bit.
Okay. You continue along the road, making your way through to the next campsite. It takes about 6 hours before you arrive at the next campsite.
Along this section of the journey, kind of early in the day, before about an hour into the journey, Ore is going to turn to Zirdig. Did you have another experience last night?
With the mists,
Yes.
I just wink at Ori.
Did you find it beneficial?
The mists give and the mists take. Everyone finds themselves within it, and he wouldn't say this to Elondiel, but he feels like he's getting more from this pilgrimage than Elondiel is. Obviously, he's not going to say that to his buddy and be like, "Hey, bro, remember that time you took me on the Elven Pilgrimage and I was like super sweet and you weren't?" But yeah, he feels very fulfilled and he hopes that Elandiel has like similar experiences because it's like clearly Elandiel's life goal, and Zerdig didn't even hear about this until like a couple months ago. But anyway, he'll keep most of that to himself, but he's being a little bit coy with Ore, but Ore knows he can pick up on a little bit of that.
Sure.
I feel like or I'm sorry, Zerdig is like the guy that got to go to Firefest for free with tickets. Like
So
that's what's
so not
happening here.
disappointed by the results.
Yeah, he was like, "This is amazing." A bunch of rich people being sad.
I got here on a coupon. It's great. Zerdig, can I ask you a very personal question?
He laughs. He's in a very good mood. He's like, "You can ask Ore, but you can always ask."
Thank you. Do you believe who you are is decided by you as a being from birth, or a development of your time and experiences?
Are you talking about determinism? That's him in character, not me.
In a way,
Is this something
I
that the
ha-
rest of us can hear?
I mean, I'm speaking as Ore's regular voice. Depending on how
Okay,
far
so
everybody away is,
yes.
probably all can hear us. Yes.
I feel like Miseki would interrupt and say, "A person is only a collection of memories and actions. Anything else is just a guess or someone trying to sell you something."
If that is the case, if your memories that defined you as you were vanished, and a new set of memories were being built into place, would you cease to be the person you were? Or would who you are still override and be who you are?
Some deep
You
questions, Mizaki. And by Mizaki, I mean Ore. Um,
go ahead.
I've heard tales of humanoids that have lost their memory, and perhaps they were very good or very evil people, or somewhere in between, and their deeds after they've forgotten themselves have defined them. So I don't believe that you're set in stone. You could be a very evil person and then turn your life around, or vice versa. Is kind of what he gives him. It's kind of like a little bit of a cliche answer, but he doesn't mean it to be. Like he's being very sincere, and then he also pretty easily reads the lines in logic here from Ore's discussion of like Ore himself, and then I'll kind of like put a hand on Ore's back and just say, "Who you were 3,000 years ago is not who you are today, and I imagine that who you are today is a much better version of yourself
Is
because
that,
you're great."
would you consider that only applies to organic folk like yourself, but with your understanding of artifice, does that apply to constructs as well?
He waxes a little bit philosophical here, but then he tells Ore, "Well, an artifice," and he's still holding the gun. Well, I guess it's a few hours later, so he's not, but he pats the gun because they had that conversation this morning.
I assume he just carries it at all times.
Yeah, it's gonna become a gun blade. That's his next version, right? He's just gonna have a great great sword gun blade. Um, but anyway, he pats the gun and he's just like, an artificer creates the tool, but a tool such as, he points to Z2, realizing that's a much better, like uh, allegory here, is like, can grow beyond its means. Z2 has very few of the original parts that I created him with because he saved my life time and again, and those of my allies, by taking the charges of sand sharks, and they're called bullets, right? Taking the charges of bullets and enemy riders and other humanoids and arrows meant for me. So I couldn't have foreseen all of that when I created Z2 the first time. The Z2 you see today has gone through countless iterations and even took his own initiative this morning, speaking with you, which is something that I, as his creator, did not foresee. So I believe that, to answer your question, in Artifice, we create tools, creations, masterpieces for a purpose, but the creations, such as yourself or Z2, can expand beyond their intended purpose.
Thank you. And you see Ore kind of like straighten up just a little bit taller, walking a little bit taller, a little bit more confident with your statement there. That is most helpful.
I actually have a DM question for the world.
Okay.
Does magic come from like the weave and stuff here, like it does in Faerun, or is it? Where does magic come from in this universe?
Well, and a mama spell and a daddy spell love each other very
Really love
much.
each other, yeah. Because like in Faerun, there's the weave, and you draw from the weave, and then there's the planes, and you draw from the planes.
Yeah, so it is a very similar set of circumstances where magic
Okay.
is woven throughout all of creation, and those that understand it are able to use it.
Okay. Cool.
So,
We use it to create a tapestry.
yep, yep. All
So
right.
Zerdig is clearly having a very good day today,
He's
and
having a fantastic time.
he'll just smile and pat Ori on the back again and give him reassuring words. But it's one of those moments where he realizes like he had more to say, but he's like, "All right, time to stop talking," and then just keeps walking, and he's got a big old smile on his face.
Okay.
The mask and the shield mimic a very similar style of smile to Zirdig's.
Then we continue on.
All right. And so, as this is happening, you're having your conversation. After the 6 hours of travel, you arrive at the next campsite. Elandiel, press on or stop?
This would be a good place to stop. I like keeping it. It's been nice doing slightly less than a full day's like work, keeping it
Okay.
more leisurely, enjoying the scenery.
I also feel like we're vaguely like a collection of like third graders. And if he doesn't give us like stops, and every so often we just sort of start wandering around the path.
And that got dangerous last time.
This
Yeah,
is not
last
an
time we did
accurate.
that. Last time we did that, the fire department had to come. So
Everybody stops and gets a juice box.
yay!
Well, if
Yay.
you hadn't left the path,
I mean, if you want a juice box, you can have a juice box. They magically appear
Mhm.
whenever you want on this.
yes!
Elandiel, Thadzi keeps messing with my saddleback.
Untouch your
Dodgy.
saddleback.
Are we
talked
there
about
yet?
I kept my hands to myself. He's lying.
We came all this way, and all there was a beautiful view.
Hey, don't knock a good, beautiful view.
Is something my parents always bring up because I said that when we climbed Stone Mountain.
Half this book is beautiful views.
That's true.
I take back all of its beautiful views, just of scenery or people or things.
I prefer the beautiful views of people.
Okay.
While
Carved into
we're here
mountains.
getting set up for the evening, Ore's going to get his book out and jot a few more notes on that same passage later on in the book, but go back to the next real page in his book and kind of mimic Elandiel a little bit and start sketching everybody in the party sitting around a fire.
Okay.
And he's going to dream up those was it peach candies? Peach
Rock
pastries that
candies?
no,
No,
the memory from
pastries, yeah.
Oh, the
Jinzen.
pastries?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the pastries that I remember from that one memory I had.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Whatever that peach pastry was, he's going to conjure that up and enjoy that delicacy while he's sitting here sketching everybody else before he goes into the trance.
Okay. Easy enough to do. Is anybody else doing anything different tonight?
No, but I might make whatever a literal Bloody Mary, I guess.
Okay.
That's
Literal
creepy.
Bloody Mary. Got it.
A,
Well, you
a
know, a
glass of
little,
blood with a celery stick in it.
Yep.
well, and a little Tabasco sauce.
Yeah, a little Tabasco, a little bit of pepper.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's have everybody go ahead and roll another percentile dice for me for the evening.
41.
36.
71.
Okay. And
54.
okay.
70.
All right. So as you all sit, meditate by the fire, the night comes and goes. No one's pulled into any unusual situations in the night. As you all wake up, the morning is yours to do with as you wish.
Gonna stretch. I want to catch the sunrise this morning.
Okay.
Does the
Good.
food? Go ahead.
I'll
Oh
just
no,
get
I
a
was just
good
responding to
drawing
Elandiel.
of the sunrise over
Does
the landscape.
does the food only appear around the campfires? Like, can we make like food as we go, or do we have to only make it at the campfires? And can we take it with us as we walk away?
Yeah, like, could we imagine like a pile of
Nice.
peppermints and take them with us?
Are there snacks?
You have not tried, so you could try and find out.
Okay, that's
what
what's going to
happens.
happen today.
So
He's going to imagine snacks for the day, and they're necessary snacks.
okay.
He's a big boy. He weighs several thousand pounds.
Okay.
You're a pony. Get over it.
600 pounds.
What snacks do you magic into the world?
I feel like we're probably going to go with some basic meats, but also a lot of dried fruit.
Okay.
Just because that's a good, easy to do. Fruit can grow in a lot of conditions. Something he's probably very comfortable and familiar with.
Okay.
Plus,
Yeah.
fruit doesn't rot as easily as meat does when you dry it.
So while you're around the campfire, yeah, you're able to summon the food, and you get plenty. You pack it up and pack it away. Elandiel. Trail or no trail?
Okay, guys. I'm gonna go off the trail a bit. Some reminders before we do. Gonna set some ground rules. Don't harm anything. Just walk, enjoy the view, enjoy the beauties of nature. Please do not kill anything. If you have any urges to eat anything, wait till the campfire, and then you can gorge your full delight. And then
Question.
Yes.
Question. You first, Ori.
My question was going to be if there is a need for engagement for self-preservation, not caused by our baser instincts, are we allowed to attack and defend ourselves?
Probably not.
Do I need to make a check to know that? Should I make a history
I
and
don't
or religion?
think we've been attacked, have we?
You were able to successfully defend
Yeah,
yourself,
defend yourself.
Elandiel, without any issue from the last thing.
Yeah. As long as our actions don't provoke the thing to attack us, you can defend yourself. Like if you get pounced on by something, which I'm not too aware of things out here that would pounce on you. But
Understood.
don't initiate.
I was gonna say, what if we eat like some trail snacks? Is that kosher?
That's okay. Food from the campfire can be taken. I don't know. You should be okay. Just don't kill anything out there to eat it.
If I eat my snacks and we get attacked by a tree, I will file an official complaint.
Noted.
Well, actually make your food all land in your mouth this time and don't dribble it everywhere.
I can just see Mazeki. Can I speak to the manager of this pilgrimage?
I will call your god and file an official complaint.
Okay.
I have no god. Na 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 na.
So you set
That's sad.
off of the trail, heading in the general direction that you believe the next site is, just based on where the trail is headed. You continue on until you lose sight of where the trail is going, but have the idea where the direction is. Can I have whoever is leading make a survival check, please?
I will throw a survival check out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ori is strongly our best at that, right?
Guidance.
Okay, so you get guidance, Ori, so you can add a d4 to that. Not that you need
Well, I
it.
got 27, but I can still add a guidance to it.
Yeah.
Every now and then, like a little radar dish comes out of Ori's butt and is like boop 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 boop.
Can you break 30?
I got GPS. I can hit
Nice.
30. I can meet 30.
Nice.
All right, so Ori, you are leading the way, and with like unnatural talent, you are able to perfectly navigate the world. It is as if you know your exact position on the world and the exact position of everything you are going, as if you're connected to a satellite network of information.
Should we make a stop? I think there's a pin over here to show us a very pretty view.
I'd love a pretty view.
This area has great reviews.
Is there some pretty landscape that I can kind of direct us to while we're still heading in the right direction?
You know that you are starting to reach the point of this island where the pilgrimage trail starts drifting more and more towards the coastline. And so you know that you could start steering everybody a little bit further south without going too far away from the direction that you're going to see off to the coastline.
It's like, hey, everybody, look, Big Sur. Yeah, that sounds great. I'll find. Is this like cliffs overlooking the ocean, or just like hills overlooking like the beach in the ocean?
So where you are right now, it is hills overlooking like the beach. So
Got it. Oregon coastline. Cool.
yeah. All right. And you're all able to take in a spectacular view as you spend the time just enjoying and feeling nature. You all feel overcome with a feeling of joy. You all gain inspiration if you don't already have it.
It's nice to get that back.
And Ore, you continue on leading the way. After about 4 hours of traveling off the trail, you come across the next campsite. Elandiel, press forward on the trail, press forward off the trail, or stop.
How long did you say it had been since we last stopped?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Let's push on.
Okay. You press on the trail or off the trail.
On the trail now.
Yeah,
I'll
I feel like
alternate
on the
between
trail is
stops.
safer at this point.
Okay. So you continue on the trail, saying goodbye to the coastline as you go, as it winds a bit away, further north, away from the coast. You continue on traveling for another 4 hours before you reach the next campsite.
Yeah, set up camp.
You
So,
continue
how many hours was that total for the day?
8.
8. Okay.
So about a
So-
normal day of travel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody doing anything different today with your meditations or business as usual?
I'm just feeling so good from seeing the native shores once more. Just laying out, doing my trance, just laying on my back, looking up at the stars.
Okay.
Mazeki's going to take particular care to pray to his god today and just kind of offer thanks and all. just because it's been a while since he's stopped and specifically done that with intention.
Okay. Is there anything specific that you are praying,
Um,
or just general?
everything's pretty shitty overall. Like I feel like in the world right now, the gods are dying, bad things are happening, horrible stuff's occurring. But like as far as his personal experience, it's mostly been positive. So I guess it's hey, is there anything we can do to push the scale a bit more for the world at large?
Okay.
And also thanks for making my personal life not garbage.
All right. Anybody else wanting to do anything different tonight?
How many more stops do we have? Do we know? Well, I guess Zerg will ask Elandiel that.
Or what
But
number stop are we on,
yeah,
even?
not like impatiently, just like how many do we have left?
Right. So, Elandiel, I mean, you've been told that the pilgrimage should take a month, which means there are 28 stops along the way if you stop at every single one.
Today is day 8 of this pilgrimage.
9.
And we have skipped several.
Yeah, 9. We skipped a few, but
Yeah.
not
Oh,
a ton.
I missed one in there someplace. I was keeping track of each morning.
Yeah, like I'm keeping track. So the first day was only 2 hours. You stopped at the very first campsite outside of Delistar,
Right.
and Elandiel had his run-in with his loss of divine
Right.
power. And then day 2, Zerdik had his fight
His
with
vision.
Typhon. And then day 3, you skipped a site, and nothing happened at the next site. On day 4, Elandiel had the vision
We
of
met the elf.
his great grandfather, who he had meant to capture the image of before he died, and had failed to. But in the image, in his vision, he was able to do so.
Day 5, we skipped a stop because we had 3 hours and then 5 hours to the next camp.
Right, and that was where you fought
That's where the
Shadow.
mayor's. Right.
And then 6, you skipped a site, and
What?
then that was your tower memories that you
Right.
just had.
And that was day 6.
And then day 7 was Zerdig.
Zerdig's 100.
Day 8 was nothing. That was the night that you guys just had where nothing happened.
This is day 9. I see.
And
This is day
day
9.
9.
I still had it on day 8. I apologize.
Yeah.
We have experienced 8 days and we are on the 9th.
Yep. This is day 9. You have skipped one campsite and you are stopping at this campsite. And if no one else is doing anything differently tonight, I would. No. Based on what is happening and the differences, we are not going to have anybody roll. Instead, as you are all doing your meditations and going about your night, Mizeki, you watch as the flame changes from its red to this soft pink color as the smoke comes out and envelops you. You find yourself back in Utra. And you see, as you are back with your river tribe, a Leonin woman off in the distance who you recognize. And you feel this sense of longing, this sense of pain, as you recognize her.
Yeah, that's gonna hit Miseki pretty hard. I feel like the first thing he would do is kind of spin in place a little bit and look all the way around before focusing back on her.
Yeah. So
Just because, like, he hasn't been here for a long time.
as you do, you take in the markets and the people around you, and you turn and you look back to where she was, and she is not there anymore.
That's not cool. Is he aware of the fact that like this is a memory, or is he? I can't remember what the rules are on that.
You are not aware of that.
So that's convenient because he always spins around when he would get back. Uh, I guess he would probably head towards where he had seen her last and look confused and just kind of make his way over that way just because he'd want to see her. And
Yeah.
that's
As you begin making your way through the crowds to the point where you saw her, and you're looking around and focusing in on every kind of detail that you can take in, a skill which you've learned to pick up over time of paying attention to everybody, everything around that you see a Leonin woman dart down an alleyway. Just for a brief moment, you catch as she goes, and you're fairly certain it is her.
I mean, then he's gonna speed up and he's not afraid to kind of use his size and all to push past people if he needs to.
All right, you push people, and you get to the alleyway where she darted down, and you look down, and there's no sight of her, and you can see down to the end of the alleyway.
So his first thought would definitely be, is this a trap? Like, someone lured me into this alley to attack me. But if nothing immediately happens and there's not, like, obviously someone appearing behind him to block off the end, I feel like he's going to look for any sort of sign of where she went.
All right. So as
And is,
you make your way
yeah,
down and you look for signs of where she could have gone, you hear what sounds like footsteps landing behind you. And as you turn to look, she goes, "You're getting soft." And there before you stands Saria. It's been a while.
that's, it has.
She
And
punches you in the shoulder and
sometimes,
goes,
yeah.
"You never said goodbye."
And neither of us ever said a lot of things. He's going to, like, spin around behind her, kind of, in response to the punching. It's sort of a thing they would probably do pretty often. Basically taking advantage of the fact that he's probably significantly smaller than her torso wise, but he's a centaur, so his body's intrinsically as big.
How long have you
And then
been
I
back home?
don't know if he would know the answer to that question. What does he think the answer is, I guess?
About a year.
Okay. So only a couple of months.
Just a few months, you say?
Well, I've been in and out of the area for a little while. You know how it is.
I do. Your uncle and I, we talk about you a lot. We miss you. You should come back. We can use you. It would be nice to have you with us again.
That's the problem, though. There's a lot of people that can use me.
But how many of them love you?
See, that's not fair, DM. I am being harassed. Ah, I feel like that's going to cause Mizeki to, like, visibly flinch, but not like in fear or anything, just kind of a like a gut punch sort of reaction. Has he grown more mature over his adventures? Yes. Okay. So I feel like he's going to have the gut punch and then take a deep breath and say, less than I would like, more than I probably deserve.
She just kind of looks at you. You haven't changed much, have you?
More than I think you would recognize, but some things are more set in stone than the sand.
So that's a no.
This is why it was never fun with you. You see too easily. which is, I guess, why I was sad I didn't say goodbye.
Yes. Well, I'm glad that I could run into you while we were passing through. I knew
So
that
you
you would
won't be
see
here?
me.
Yeah,
You always do.
you stand out.
As do you. Although less so here. You know, when your uncle told me who you were, and that you were his nephew, you were not at all what I pictured. I pictured an elf like he and
Yes, the family is certainly an interesting mix. Mizeki's kind of gonna move towards her for like a hug, but if she responds negatively, he's going to stop.
Mhm. Yeah, so
But his
you
goal is to kind of like wrap around her a little bit and give
yeah,
her a squeeze, but he's obviously not very strong.
you are able to do so and she very readily accepts your hug.
Now that makes me even more sad.
As you pull her in, you feel something be dropped into your pocket. And as you have that feeling, you find yourself back around the campfire with your new friends, looking around. The sun is beginning to rise in the sky. You reach into your pocket and you pull out a locket that you don't remember having before.
Yeah, because he would distinctly remember something like that. So
You open it up and you see a picture of you and Soraya together.
I am being attacked. Okay, well, this is going to go into the magical space immediately. Next time he can put it in there.
Which you haven't gone in tonight because you've been
Yeah,
taken by this.
and that's where he keeps things that he wants to keep safe.
Okay.
So
So, Ore, with your trance state and being aware of everything, you see Mazeki pull out something and then immediately vanish, and the ring drops to the ground as it always does, where he was.
I go pick up the ring and I set it on the, I guess, log that he was sitting at. I guess he doesn't really sit at a log, does he?
no,
Now, normally, once he's reached a point of meditation and is
he
sure
just sort
nothing's
of
happening to
poofs.
him, he just goes into his ring.
Yeah, and then usually I'll have the imp pick it up if he thinks there'll be any danger. But
If I don't see the imp immediately pick it up, I'll go pick it
it
up to
would
make
let
sure
you
it
pick
doesn't
it up.
get
Yeah,
lost.
And you
it's
also
one of
wouldn't
those.
see it because it's typically
Yeah,
invisible, so.
yeah, but you would
Gotcha.
see that it doesn't vanish suddenly, so or it can pick it up. Like
Yeah.
Mizeki doesn't feel like they're in innate danger right now.
And I'll hold it almost like open palm, just like as I continue sitting there, just have it sitting on my palm facing up. If he pops back up, he's going to land on my hand and just kind of have to
Okay.
pull it back.
ND10 crushing damage. Mizeki's gonna have a cry inside of his magical space. And
How
probably
long do
drink
you
some
wish to
of the
stay
alcohol.
inside the space? You get your full time instead of
Yeah,
using it for your rest that you would have. So you can stay in for your full 6 hours, I believe, is your duration currently.
yeah, he'll stay in until he starts hearing people wake up, I guess, and move around because he can still hear.
Okay, which
So
isn't very long. It's only about 10
yeah,
minutes after you go into the ring
he'll
as the sun is
probably
coming
wait
up.
a little longer, maybe 20 minutes.
Okay,
Basically, he doesn't want to be left behind or hold up people leaving, but he doesn't want to pop back out immediately.
right. So for the rest of you, as you wake up, you notice unusually this time that Mazeki is not to be seen. Every other time as you've come out of your trances and woken up, Mazeki has already been out of his ring, or you've all woken up together from shared trances.
Ori, did did Mizeki wander off in the night?
I believe he is in his ring. I was
Still,
expecting
hmm.
him to be out by this time.
You watched him go in it, like not that long ago.
Oh, so it hasn't been like the full 6 hours.
Yeah,
No.
because he only
Okay.
he went into the campfire smoke thing this time, and then
Yep.
you watched him pop into his ring afterwards.
Yep.
Then to edit that, it's like, he went into his ring just a short period of time ago, and I'll just continue sitting there with the ring in my hand.
Oh, okay. Somebody think you'll mind if we just carry the ring with us?
Oh yeah, you can do that. Screw that. I'm staying in the ring the entire time. They can carry me.
I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I don't see an issue with carrying this ring. I don't know that it would fit me. And for the size of the ring that Mazeki wears, my fingers are fairly clunky because they're all metal and square. Would this ring fit me at all?
It'll get picked up as soon as the question of you like being able to wear it comes up. The crow will pop out of invisibility and pick it up and immediately like caw at you.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like how dare you, and then sit on
I
your head.
He pops out and he's like cawing at me as the ring's still in my hand. I'll be like, I can just carry it. I do not have to wear the ring.
Too late. You've suggested the idea. The crow will take it and he will sit on your head.
As long as he just sits there and doesn't do anything else, I think I'm fine.
Yeah, he doesn't like he's not gonna harass you, but he will take control of it. There you go. The crow hates me. Angry sound. Perfect video. Thank you, Sadzi. And also Zerdik has the exact idea.
If you're comfortable up there, I don't mind carrying you. I say this to the crow.
He he will do the preening thing that crows do when they're chilling.
And then Ori's
Which
going to go
Ori
about the
would
rest of his
recognize.
regular business as though the crow isn't there and not bother the crow as best he can.
All right. So, day 10, morning. Elandiel,
Down the path.
down the path. Okay. It's a fairly short jaunt this morning, as it only takes 2 hours before you reach the next campsite.
Push on.
Okay. You press forward, continuing on the path or off the path this time.
On the path.
Okay. You continue on, pressing forward. This one's a much longer trek. It takes a full 9 hours before you reach the next site.
Whew. Yeah, we're gonna
So
stop.
after the 6 hours, I guess,
Miseki pops out.
Mizeki pops out and he is obviously drunk. So an obviously drunk centaur suddenly appears.
So, yeah. 4 hours after you leave the campsite that you're skipping for the day, Mazeki pops out, clearly hammered. Slurred speech and
Ooh,
everything.
buddy.
He's got a wine cup, but he'll look around and then frown, drink from the wine cup again.
You know, horses don't puke, but he's a centaur, so I'm not taking the tent next to him tonight.
He's
Uh,
gonna. Should I roll with disadvantage? I guess because I am drunk. I don't know. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll take the disadvantage. He's gonna look at you and try to put on a very like calm face, but I only got an 11, and say, "I am perfectly fine."
Insight
And then
check.
you fall off the room.
I think you all automatically pass that with insight unless you have a negative.
yeah, passive insights will get everybody.
Yeah, my passive insight, yeah, it's 18.
He is not fine. Mizeki, in your head, you'll hear him be like, dude, I have never seen you drink this much. Like, what is going on? This can't be how you operate anymore, man. Like, do I need to take over?
He's immediately gonna be like, "Excuse me," voice inside my head. "We are not having an intervention right now. We're not in combat. Everything is fine. Shut up."
Is that
Are
out
you saying
loud?
this aloud?
Probably yes. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah because he got an 11.
Given that he's
Or
drunk, he probably doesn't realize it either.
And he's like gesticulating, his hands are moving around a lot as he talks.
Ore looks to Elandiel. I have not prepared a spell for this.
Is there something in that wine I didn't know about? And can I have some?
No, we're out. I imagine he's gone through like a good chunk of the wine he had, which wasn't tons, but it was like enough for reasonable traveling.
Well, like, was it wine or did you bring like something
No,
harder?
he brought wine, and he's just had a lot of it very fast.
I'll answer Ore. I don't know what to do with something that big.
Let me try this. Is it obvious that he's intoxicated or he's just acting weird?
It's obvious he's
Yeah,
intoxicated.
he's intoxicated. Like,
I don't have like lesser restoration or anything prepared, but I will cast enhance ability bears endurance on you.
is that one of the ones you can dismiss from yourself?
I can cast it on
Remember
other
how-
people.
Well, no. I mean, like once it's been cast on me, because I know
Oh,
some spell effects you can't take off yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good
Let's
question.
find out.
it's not really explaining that. I touch a creature and I bestow a magical
Yeah,
enchantment.
if it doesn't
Choose one of the
have,
following effects. Yeah.
it is concentration though. So yes, Ore can immediately dismiss it. Yeah, that was always a weird thing. If a spell is not concentration and doesn't say you can dismiss it early, it just runs for as long as it runs.
Yep.
Yeah, this
So
is just advantage on Constitution checks, and you gain
yeah,
2d6 temporary hit points.
yes. As soon as
So,
Mizeki feels that he's less drunk, he's going to glare around and say, "Whoever did that, stop it!"
And then just chug the rest of the wine you've got.
Yeah, and drink the rest of his wine, and then like look around, and then put the cup in his bag after a couple attempts.
That's okay, buddy. We'll get you some nice rest up ahead. Hopefully not too long. Anything you want to talk
See,
about?
Mizeki gets cranky without his snacks, even though
I
he
want to
just
go
jumped.
home. That will remind him he has snacks. Way.
You,
He's gonna eat some of his
you
snacks.
go digging for the snacks that you made at the campsite to pull out, and they are not there.
This is bullshit. Your God stuck. Where are my snacks?
What type of snacks do you want?
I had some fruit and some of the meat they make in the market. This is
I
awful.
I'll I'll cast create food and water and make
Make
uh
shitty snacks because
I
create food and water just makes like plain tack.
why do you think I bought spices before we left town?
He has prestidigitation too. It's about the texture.
Yeah. Well,
It only
yeah,
changes the flavor and the heat. You can't change the texture.
yeah, it doesn't say anything about the texture. It just says it's bland. And that's what spices and prestidigitation come in for.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Yeah, but you're
Just because
drunk.
you have a graham cracker that tastes like a dried apricot doesn't mean it feels like one.
How drunk are you?
I feel like Miseki is going to be largely inconsolable. It's is where we're at.
Okay. Well,
And if you guys keep asking him questions, he might tell you some things, but like if no one presses him repeatedly about it, he's just going to be upset about things and there's going to be a lot of stamping his feet randomly and like kind of meandering walking instead of going straight ahead.
The benefit is you have 5 full hours. We'll bump that up to 6 because of Mizeki's slowness before you reach the campsite from the time he pops out drunk. So,
Well, remember, Miseki is innately faster than everyone else normally.
true.
So he's probably his drunken stumbling is probably average speed for the party.
Yeah.
I think we would try and pry some deets out of Mizeki. Yeah, I think there's too many inquisitive people in the party who'd be like, "So what happened?"
Or what's this voice in your head you were telling to shut up?
Yeah,
Yeah, have you told
No more
them
questions on that.
about your patron yet?
No,
Nope.
I think they kind of guessed at one point.
Yeah, I mean he can shoot like freaking energy force bolts out of his hands.
Yeah,
So
and suddenly the guy that had no magic has magic, and there's the ring thing, and this happened right after the ring.
You did get magic before that though, because you were an
That's
arcane
true.
trickster.
I got some of the, but
yeah,
I never used it openly.
You're using
Yeah.
it magic very different now.
Yeah,
and more often.
yeah.
yeah.
That's because he's a magic sugar baby now.
So for the next hour of travel, you have an 11 additional temporary hit points
I
and
mean, no,
advantage on con saves.
he's
So
gonna repeatedly threaten you until you cancel the spell.
you've got an hour.
No, if you don't cancel the spell, he's going to threaten you more aggressively.
Gonna sit down. I'm not moving till you cancel
Yeah.
that spell.
Or he's just gonna start taking things that Ore owns, using his magic invisible hand.
Well, wait. Who's got the highest carry capacity
Mizeki does.
Mizeki.
after Mizeki?
Who's
None
got
of
the
you
best
can
strength?
carry him.
I
Yeah,
can tell you
none
who's
of
got
you
the
can carry a
worst.
600-pound horseman.
I only have a +1 strength.
I think that makes it Zerdig is got the next highest carrying capacity then.
Yeah.
We'll just tie a rope to your back hose and drag you along.
No, Zerdig's actually intelligence based
Oh right.
because he's a battlesmith. His strength is only 10.
And also, I'm pretty sure as the stronger Dex Thief character, I could undo any ropes you did.
Okay, Ore is
You're
the
pretty drunk
next.
though.
Ore is the strongest character, but the second
Plus
carrying
one.
capacity.
Wow. Wow. I only have a
So-
+1. That's
Is
scary.
Ore going to willingly cancel the spell, or is he going to leave it on?
I'm going to leave it on for just a minute. The more you get irate with me, I'd say
Yeah.
probably what?
He's going to get
Covering like
belligerent
10
pretty
or 15
fast,
minutes
though.
of you like getting more and more difficult. I'll drop it.
Can you just
Prestidigitation, minor illusion. He's going to do anything he can to be belligerent about this.
Can you just deceive him and make him think you took it off?
No.
I don't think that works because he's going to feel the enchantment.
Yeah, you can
Darn it.
innately feel the magic on you, even if you're not exactly certain what it's doing.
Mizeki,
What?
you are here with us. You are part of us as a collective.
That is literally half the problem.
I will drop the enchantment at this time, per your request. But we are here for you. Whatever this burden is that you are carrying, you do not have to carry alone. I've learned on this pilgrimage, we are all here for a reason. But I will do as you wish and drop the enchantment for now. And I'll drop it.
How capable would Miseki be at creating an image of Serena?
I mean, you just took one
Minor
into
illusion.
your.
Oh, that's true. I
range.
have a picture, but I mean like a full body image. Because I've got like minor illusion and stuff.
Well, you'd be able to do it expertly when you're not drunk.
Okay. So he'll probably try while drunk to make one and then get very frustrated. You get like a really janky looking Leonin. It probably looks more like
Valerian,
yeah, Valerian.
like a female Valerian.
It looks like Valerian with boobs tacked on the front. like just like glued on there. And then he's like, "Damn it." And he'll vaguely gesture at like his like the air near him that he thinks of as like that's my space. I'll
So
show you
He's-
later.
everybody but
He's like, "Wrong one."
Zerdig, you just see Valerian pop in with breast augmentation, and Mizeki start cursing at it.
Yeah, no, that seems on brand.
He's just not gonna ask questions and just keep walking.
They're just like, I'm gonna look at my gun and not at that.
Yeah, for Zerdig, if it's a Leonin you've never seen before, you're just like, sure, whatever. Yep, okay. Interesting day. Very, very interesting day.
And if pressed about this more, I feel like the only thing he would reveal would be her name and the fact that she was Leonin. And he's not gonna, and the fact that like the reason he's grumpy is that she's not here, or
And
that
she
he is
clearly,
here.
clearly means something to him, right?
Yeah, like that's
Grumpy.
plain.
What would you do if Sazi started like poking fun at you about, oh, is it your girlfriend?
Are
just,
you
like,
familiar with
giving you shit.
Thunderwave?
Fair enough.
Because he's got upcast Thunderwave, and he can do it twice an hour.
I'm assuming that has the same effect on me as vacuum cleaners do on algae.
It would do 3d8 thunder damage and shoot you 10 feet away. So yeah, similar.
Yes, but will it make my back arch up and make me spit?
Probably.
I mean, it's concussive thunder damage, so yeah, probably. Actually, he would probably just start spritzing you with water from prestidigitation.
Bad kitty.
Yeah, because he can make puffs of like wind and stuff and like water and things that are harmless but like have a visual effect.
Mhm.
Or very annoying?
Yeah, that's like the first point of prestidigitation is you can make harmless sensory effects.
Yeah, can you imagine being like a freaking magic school teacher? Like,
It
hey
constantly
students, let's
smells
learn
like fart.
prestidigitation.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, why did we teach them this cantrip?
Why did we teach the students how to make the fart magic?
I love the Harry Potter movies.
That's true. We only know 2 spells: yeet the wand and blow things up.
Yep. Okay.
I also know how to fix classes.
No, Harry doesn't know that spell. Harry knows yeet the wand and blow things up.
Yeah, but Hermione knows the good stuff.
And friendship.
And he also knows make them fall down.
Yeah, that's just a variation of yeet the wand, though. That's called yeet the
True.
person.
Oh, and don't
He
forget,
does cast exposition a lot too.
Yeah.
No,
don't
that's
forget,
Ron's job.
there's also the time where he's like, what does this spell do? Oh, I didn't mean to cause severe internal
Murder.
bleeding.
I have
Oh, it
deleted
wasn't
the bones from
internal.
my
It was
arm.
very much external bleeding.
Yeah, external bleeding.
Was Sectum Sempra? I thought it was mostly
Yeah.
internal and it was like coming out.
No, it
the
was like being
orifices.
slashed with a sword.
Oh, he
Yeah,
hardcore cast attempted murder.
Yeah.
He made
My
the
bad.
insides
Abracadabra.
outsides.
Yeah.
It's been a
Yeah.
while since I've read the books, and yeah,
Yeah.
Abracadabra
I
is murder.
I can't
Septum
really
Sempra is
enjoy him like I used to.
attempted
So.
murder.
Fair.
So you were in the ring for 6 hours. This is a 9-hour hike to the next
Yeah.
thing. So this is about what, 5 hours into our journey that Mizeki pops out and start being
No.
hush?
It's only like 3 hours that he pops out, or
Yeah.
because you had the other one that was 2 hours into the journey that you skipped.
Yeah, so like halfway to the next one, he pops
Yeah.
out basically.
Okay, so 2 hours into a 9-hour hike. Is he slowing us down or being too much of a pain in the ass?
He's slowing you down a little bit. And I mean, only slightly more than usual.
Excuse me. I am being attacked.
Not yet.
By yourself?
Yes.
Or that voice in your head that you won't tell us about?
Do you keep pressing about the voice in his head?
It depends on how often he threatens to cast Thunderwave with me as the epicenter.
I mean, as soon as you stop harassing him, he'll stop threatening back.
Zerdig stays out of Thunderwave range because he also knows about that spell and is probably like leading at this point or right behind Elandiel.
Honestly, he would probably Gust of Wind, but instead of casting Thunderwave, but he will threaten Thunderwave.
You're just being so secretive. You won't tell us about your girlfriend, and you won't tell us about this mysterious voice in your head.
Okay,
Do-
Satsi is getting Gust of Winded.
Not only
it's
that, when she asks about the voice in your head, all of a sudden wind kicks up around Mizeki, and Mizeki starts walking at a normal pace again and has just gone completely silent.
He gets taken over.
Excuse me? Do I still get to pass Gust of Wind at least?
Yes, yes. You can still
Okay.
roll that. He will still allow for that casting. He finds that funny,
So
but
it's a strength 15
not her
DC.
questions.
Yeah. You have to make a strength saving throw, DC 15.
Let me know what you roll, because if you fail by a little bit, I can help you.
If you fail by a lot of bit, we'll all laugh at you instead.
I got a 19, so there.
No, she
Nice.
does not fail.
Okay, but you do notice that wind just seems to be billowing around Mazeki as his clothes and hair all.
Oh no, and
Rude.
yeah, she's not pushed, but it still takes double movement
Mhm.
for her as long as she's in the line, which is 60 feet long and 10 feet wide.
Sidestep.
Yeah, you have to move sideways basically.
Yep. Okay. And Mazeki is now very stone faced and silent and no longer acting drunk as the wind blows around him. And Mazeki, you can communicate inside your head. And you hear the voice. It's like, sorry, but they're asking too many questions. And your state isn't one I can trust at the moment.
That's fair, but also you suck.
Yes. But so do you.
With
And
this dramatic change in disposition, can I make an insight check against it?
you may.
That is an 18.
Okay. You've seen Mizeki like this once before, shortly after getting the ring, but not since.
Do I get the sense that something else is in control of Mizeki, or do I get the sense that Mizeki's just shut up and like sacked up and kept walking forward?
You get the idea that there is a greater power going on than you can comprehend at the moment, just
Okay.
as when first encountering this.
I slow my pace a little bit and kind of put my hand on Elandiel on his shoulder and just kind of like slow him back from the group just a little bit as he's pressing forward and lean into Elandiel. I don't know that Mizeki is still in control of Mizeki.
Yeah, that was different for
I
sure.
concur. Should we let him continue in this state or should we intervene?
I think right now it's watch and wait.
Understood. And then we'll progress on, I guess, as normal and just keeping an extra eye on Mizeki's behavior and see if any more violence begets the rest of our team from him.
Okay.
He is 100% for the minute he's allowed to just going to randomly change the direction of the gust of wind every round. So there's just like a column of wind shooting out from him every round for a minute. But it doesn't hurt anything, it just pushes things away from him.
Yep. Okay.
I'll turn to Elandia one more time. Is that what they refer to as lashing out?
Yes, and it happens when people are upset, frustrated, inebriated. That usually exacerbates stress and frustration, um, or sometimes can reduce it. It impacts people differently.
Is that something that's acceptable? Should we intervene?
With how in he is right now, an experience, we just need to. I don't have anything to sober him up, so that means it's time.
Understood.
If he does anything more than gust of wind, we might need to intervene. But as long as it stays to this and doesn't escalate, I think at this point we just want to kind of keep him relaxed and help him calm down because he's clearly going through something.
I am ready to intervene if needed.
Okay. I can't remember. Do we speak a common language other than common? You
I
don't speak
speak.
Elvish, do you? I ask him in
I don't.
Elvish.
I speak Sylvan, Gnomish, and Druidic, and
Nope.
Common.
Okay. So I'll tell him an Elvish word. That's our go word if we need to like initiate hold person or something.
And Ori will try to repeat it back as best as he understands it.
Wait,
So, what's the Elven word that you're using?
please use hold person on me. That will be the best.
I have both hold person and sleep prepared. So
I
I
don't
was
think
thinking
either of
sleep
those
might
work.
be nice.
I
You
don't
can't. Oh,
actually.
because you're Fey, right?
I'm
Yeah,
not a humanoid.
that's a good point.
Why do you keep waving your arms around like some sort of magic man?
Find out. It'll
I just
be
start swinging the astrolabe in front of you, like you're getting very tired.
It looks like sleep would work. Yeah, sleep would still work.
Okay.
so the go word is go in Elven. I make it as simple as I can.
He'll repeat back what he hears as the go word in Elven, and it comes off like uh,
Is that his
grass.
begin?
Close enough. I'll be the one
Grass it
saying
is.
it. So
I will follow your example.
All right. You make it to the camp site after several hours of enduring Mazeki and his craziness until he all of a sudden just went basically stoic and wind was just constantly blowing around him. As you go about your business and setting up the camp and get into your typical meditation rituals, you notice Mizeki has passed out entirely. The not disappearing into his ring, but has immediately gone asleep. Is anybody doing anything different with your meditations for the evening?
I will try to throw a blanket over him and make him comfortable.
Okay.
And
and
for the meditation for the evening, I am going to get out the onyx cuboids and kind of inspect them a little bit, and kind of hold them one in each hand going into meditation.
Okay.
Boy,
and I'll offer prayers to Otterwell and to Mizaki's goddess
Maquette.
to watch over him
Okay.
and
Anything
help
specific
him
that
find
you're
peace.
praying?
That he'll find peace to whatever's currently troubling him.
Okay.
And Zerdig, so we talked about this a few episodes ago where like Zerdig and Elandiel could swap, right? Because they can trance. He'll go second. He's contemplating not meditating at all today because he feels pretty good about things. But
Okay.
he'll keep watch for the first half, and then depending on what happens, maybe he might do it.
Okay. So you don't want to meditate tonight. Okay.
He's gonna make the game time decision after Elandiel's done.
Okay. Um, Sadzi.
I'm going to spend time trying to put my fur back in order because someone basically stuck me in a giant blow dryer all day long.
Okay.
There may be a few glares shot in Mizeki's direction, but he's asleep and probably snoring slightly, so it's not like that's going to do anything.
All right.
But yeah,
But nothing
very
else different from your meditations. Just get your hair in order, your fur in order.
just a very thorough bath.
Okay.
my familiar cast spells.
As Sadzi like puts herself back in order, I'm going to use a little druid craft and give her a couple of flowers in her hair.
Okay. Mizeki, you can cast spells through your familiar. Since you are
Yeah, but
currently unconscious, you cannot cast
Yeah.
spells through him.
yeah, so I was trying to see if like my familiar can harass her on my behalf, but he cannot.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
poke her.
So in that case, Elandiel, Sadzi, and Ore give me D100 rolls. Since Zerdig is not meditating here, and Mizeki is passed out.
73.
17.
45?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I thought Salty wasn't meditating. If she is, I rolled. I got a 20. But if she is meditating, then I'll do what I said.
Yeah. Okay. So the night comes and goes. The sun rises on a still unconscious and snoring Mizeki. The rest of you all come out and wake up and out of your trances as the sun is rising in the sky.
So regular long rest applies to everybody. We're okay?
Yes.
Cool.
Extra
Nothing
long
happened with
rest
the
to Mizeki.
nothing happens with the onyx cuboids. Everything is just static.
Correct.
Okay, I put those away. Since it's early in the morning, as everyone is starting to stir awake, is the moon still visible now?
It is. So you can see
Uh,
it still in the sky. Just until about an hour after sunrise every morning.
so just before sunrise, Ore is going to take another, since nothing happened through the evening, Ore is going to take a moment, walk away from the camp, out to the 100-foot range, and just do another silent prayer to Thalia and just say thank you, and also inquire if he has changed from them sending him here.
Okay. All right. Mizeki, you wake up not feeling very good.
I mean, that's not that unusual, so
A bit covered in dirt with a
Wine
blanket
flu.
over you,
yeah.
and the rest of your friends going about various morning rituals.
I mean, the first thing he does is start cleaning himself almost reflexively with prestidigitation. Uh, does he remember what happened?
I would say roll for it. Roll
Alright.
just a general.
Yeah, just a flat d20.
Yeah.
I got a 9.
I would say no. You have no memories of the day before.
Okay. But he remembers the
You remember,
smoke dream still.
yeah,
He
the
just
smoke
doesn't remember
stuff.
what happened after.
Yep.
Which seems fair. Like he probably recognizes roughly what happened and it's just like fine.
Yep. The voice in your head
Um
goes, "No more repeats, right?" You have no idea what he's talking about.
yeah. I mean, and he will say that literally. I have no idea what you're talking. Which he probably says more often than not to him. Sometimes he's lying.
You really did drink way too much.
This is going
Never
to be deeply
again.
concerning. He's gonna frown and be like, "Oh no, my wine."
And disappear into your ring to check on it.
No. But he will think about it. He's gonna like make a mental note, first thing to check when he pops in.
Yeah.
He is going to probably message Elandiel and be like, "Do you have any casts of is it sending available?"
Yes.
Yeah, and then he's gonna go over and show him the locket discreetly.
You don't have the locket. You left it inside your ring.
Oh shit! Okay, as soon as he's gonna try to do that, and he's gonna like pat himself real quick and then vanish.
No.
Get get the
Not
locket
again.
and then unvanish, and also look very sad
Oh,
because he's realized the wine is gone.
All the wine is gone.
Yeah, he's drank all the wine, but he's got the locket in his hand.
But why
So he's
is the
gonna look
wine
like
gone?
devastated, but also like go over to Elandiel and kind of sleight of hand secretly show him the locket inside and be like, "Do you think if I described her, you could sending to this person?"
could I?
What's Sending's description?
I think it's someone you have to know.
I think
or
so as
Be
well.
familiar with.
Yeah, you have to be familiar with
I think
them.
is the wording.
I
That's
thought there
fine.
were levels. Isn't there like a percentage, or is that
That's
maybe I'm
for
thinking of
like scrying
teleportation?
or whatever. Yeah.
Right, scrying. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, send us
To a
to
creature with which you are familiar.
familiar.
Recognizes you
So
as the sender if it knows you. So you don't have to know them because they don't have to know you.
okay, that's creepy.
You just hear like,
I'm contacting you about your cart's extended warranty. Who the hell is this?
So yeah, familiar. I would say seeing the picture and getting a description of her as well as her name
Yeah.
would be what's required.
Okay, so he's gonna do all that, and he's basically gonna say, on behalf of Mazeki, you are being contacted. Are you doing well? And would you like to see him again?
yeah, I'll pass on exactly whatever
Looking
Mizeki tells
forward to
me that
hearing
fits
from you.
within limit.
Okay.
All the best.
All right. So you pass the message, Edge, and you get a very excited 2 words back. Yes. When?
Yes,
Okay.
when?
See, the problem is now that, like, I'm not sure if Mazeki's going to not try to immediately go home.
How would you get
So
there?
Do it. Do it.
he's gonna have to think about this.
Yeah, but how will you get home? I mean, if you finish all the pilgrimage, there's likely people at the end that might have the ability to send
Yeah,
you somewhere.
over like 12 days. We could use the tree magic.
I'm not using the tree magic because you want to go see your girlfriend.
Well, no, you could use the tree magic to send Mazeki to that major city, and then
But we
he
need
could
a
illegally
tree
use
to
the
start with
teleport to
that's
go
big
to
enough.
Utra.
I'm pretty sure I would have to go with you, and no.
Do you? I don't think you do. It's
No, you
tree
just
walk?
open up a
Yeah, you open up like a door in the
portal.
tree.
Yeah.
It's like Bridge to Terabithia. You don't have to go through. So yeah, I feel like Maseki's gonna get almost a frantic look in his eyes, and then whip his head over to Sadzi and be like, "Can you teleport me through the trees to I have forgotten the name of the major city because my brain is dumb."
There are no trees large enough around, but you are heading to a large tree at the end of the pilgrimage.
Okay, so we'll have to get to the. Okay, he'll still. Can you take me from the big tree at the end to our house? And he's gonna stare like super intently, like when horses get like excited or frightened and their eyes get huge. It's gonna be one of those.
You mean the one in Drusus? That house?
I don't know of any way to get to Utra faster, so sure.
Tell me why I should after you put me in a freaking blast of wind all day yesterday.
Hold on, let me find the eyeballs.
I did what?
No, I'm finding a picture. Because this is
Hmm. Yeah, but you also have no clue what Sadzi's talking about. So
yeah, that he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but this is important.
I mean, the person on the other side did seem excited.
And he's gonna turn to Elandiel and say, "This evening, when we settle down, I would like to send another message. I want to send it now, but it's important to keep our spells in case of danger."
'Kay.
Just the scary eyes. There's gonna be like a lot of stamping. He probably is going in circles at this point, and like he does that really creepy thing I've decided that centaurs do, where they can, turn their upper torso so that they're constantly looking at you, but their horse body is going around in circles. It's the same thing people can do when they're on roller skates, and it's terrifying.
okay.
So Mizeki is plainly excited, but he also like understands that it would be very rude to tell Elandiel we need to skip the rest of the campfires and get to the big tree. But that's implied.
Lundy's like, we're stopping at all of them from here on out.
We're gonna spend 2 days at every campfire.
It's 1 hour to the next one. Done. We're stopping. No, Elandiel cares about Mazeki. Mazeki's a good friend.
I
We'll
mean,
probably keep doing what we're doing, skipping short ones and
yeah, like
pushing
we'll
on.
skip the really short ones. I feel like, but like Mizaki's not going to push to go faster, but it's clear that he wants to. But he also understands that like this is not his trip, and if he just sprinted straight ahead, it would be weird and also dangerous.
I walk a lonely road.
I
The
mean,
only
aren't
road
we
that
on
you've
like
ever known.
we're on
We're
like
on like
the
a
14th camp, right?
yeah, we're more than
That
halfway.
was you're currently at site 16 on the morning of day
So
11.
yeah, we skipped a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going like every other. We're making decent time.
Yep. So it really depends on what you do today. You have not left the camp yet. It's just this sending message that has been happening, and Mazeki eager to finish. So, Elandiel, path or no path?
Since he's eager, we'll take the path. That'll
Okay.
probably be faster.
All right. So, after 5 hours of travel along the path, you come to the next campsite.
Oh, that's tricky. 5 is a good amount of time, and I don't want to push on another like 6 hours like the other day. I think we're all probably
Like
still
yesterday.
tired, tired from yesterday.
Yeah, 2 and then 9. Yep.
So, I think today we'll probably call it a little early, just because we're dealing with recovering from yesterday, and I'll let Mazeki know I'll keep slots available for sending for him,
Okay.
as long as he like I don't know
Yeah,
doesn't
like
make me say anything too awkward.
it's
I'm
gonna be
willing to say a
really
lot of things
inappropriate.
though,
Elandiel's
but
gonna be there like, I cannot say that.
You want me to tell her what?
you miss what?
So when I take off my pants, Misaki, you don't wear pants. Exactly.
What if I did?
She'll laugh. She'll laugh.
She knows it. She'll get it.
I feel like he would basically try and use up every single spell slot he can to just have like a teenage level text conversation with her. But like he's also adult enough to establish like where should we meet? Basically, where are you now? Because I can legally use the teleports. Um, and also explaining like it will be at least a week or two before I can travel distances. And then like, how are you doing? What's your favorite color? And other non-consequential things like that, because he's very aware that like Elondiel's the one doing the talking, not him, and he doesn't want to talk about secret stuff. He will, of course, ask, can Elondiel make a scroll of this so that Mizeki can learn it? Because I think, let me look up the rules on my feet, but I think I can learn this spell. Or is this one of the ones you can't? Hold on.
What are you
Okay,
talking
no,
about?
this is not a ritual. Never mind.
Yeah, it's not a
Really sad.
ritual.
Why is it not a ritual? It should be.
Because if it were a
Look,
ritual, you wouldn't
then
care
you could
about
just
spell
ritually
slots.
cast it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only
I do need to.
warlock that can learn it is the Great Old One, which is not you. You're a genie.
Yeah,
So
I do need to. Well, I can. Yeah, I can cheat. What spell level is it?
magical secrets.
It's a 3rd level spell.
Oh no, I was thinking of just taking a bunch of levels in rogue
It's not.
because it's on the wizard spell
Oh yeah, it's
list,
a
and
wizard
that's
spell. Yeah.
yeah. I'm at level 12 arcane trickster, so that I can get 1/3 level spell. But
That
yeah,
is.
he's basically gonna have like sanitized through your parents' text messages with her.
Yeah.
Like when you have to talk to your parent, like your girlfriend, but you're in the living room and your mom's there.
So how many spell slots are you willing to put out for this, Elandiel?
He will use the first one to specifically ask, "Where are you?" And also, I can't travel far for at least 2 weeks.
I I can give him 2 castings a day. That way I can keep a revivify open.
Okay. So he gets
In case he
one more
dies.
casting today then.
Yeah. And then the second one he would use for entirely inane things.
Well,
Like,
I
how have
mean,
you
the
been?
first one you already used this morning, so
Oh, okay. So then the second one is for the important information, and then followed by how have you been?
okay.
I miss you.
All right. So you say, "Where are you?" and
I
feel
can't
like it's
travel for 2 weeks.
can't travel for 2 weeks.
How have you been? I miss you.
All right.
Also,
like
I
that.
got some great pants if that will fit. Because that is hilarious and would be a great joke.
Like the scene in The Other Guys where the grandma's going in and out, saying things between Gator and his gal. And like, stop making me say those things.
All
I'm
right.
also just imagining using thieves' cant to say inappropriate things.
Okay. All right. So you send the message, and Elandiel, you get the back. Uh, just past the blighted woods, heading towards the light of faith. 2 weeks? Seriously, dude? Nice pants.
There's definitely going to be an inappropriate chuckle.
Yep.
You laughed about your pants. I don't
Of
get
course
it.
she did. She loves my tailoring. And then he's gonna go into his magical speech.
Just disappear. Boop.
Yeah, just vanish. Make an inappropriate chuckle and vanish immediately.
I'll be in my bunk.
I'll be in my magical bed.
Yep.
Very sad. That didn't he immediately become sad about the wine again because it's gone. So
After Mazeki vanishes away, Ore is going to ask Elandiel, who is this individual and what is that relationship that allows him to act irrationally?
Uh, complicated, I think. I don't know. I don't really feel it's my place to share anything. I'm really just a telephone between. Well, I'm a communicator between them, and I'm not sure I understand the relationship.
what's
My
the
money's
Twitch
on
map
girlfriend.
command? I've
So
forgotten
this
the Twitch
is
map command.
The
this is
world map.
Yeah.
It may not be working right now. Let me
Oh,
go
it's
see.
not.
Like it breaks occasionally, and I have to go like turn it off and turn it back on.
so this may be
I
some
just need
sort
the
of
link to the map.
romantic relationship between Mazeki and this. What was the name again? I apologize. Saria?
Um, the only person that's been told the name is Elandiel.
Yeah.
Oh, so
So
that wasn't out to the rest of us then.
No, yeah, that
no,
was
that
he.
was
He
very much
specifically
whispered.
rolled
Okay.
and was very quiet. He used message so that only Elandiel could hear it and all.
Got it. Okay, so the rest of us didn't hear that. So is this a romantic relationship between him and this individual?
Feel like that would be an invasion of his privacy to share that. And yeah, I'll leave that up to Mizeki to share any information on.
If I teleport to
Noted.
Kuche and sneak onto a boat,
I will make a note to ask him about this tomorrow.
My money's on girlfriend.
I mean,
Hey, it's how the guys always acted when some female was in heat back in the wild. So
Mizeki is yelling wildly rude things at Sadzi from inside his ring, but obviously you can't hear any of it. But just know that the thought is there.
yeah, that's something you'll have to take up with him. I'll
Noted.
give him the same privacy any of you ask for with sendings, obviously within reason.
Londiel's communication services values you and your privacy.
So Ore is going to kind of look around the rest of the group and be like, "Can anyone enlighten me as to the complexities of romantic relationships?" I just kind of scan across the faces of all of you.
Zerdik
So
has that like ew gross face on because even though he's like 100 something years old, he's still a child. Well, barely an
yeah,
adult by elf standards.
he's a child prodigy though, so he's probably pretty sheltered.
Yeah.
Elandiel has a very slightly sad face if you catch him at the right angle.
I'm
So
just
what
gonna
is
look.
loving people like? And Elandiel's like, oh,
Well, depends on if we're talking about love or physical relationships.
And Ori's going to look right at Sadzi. Is this similar to the relationship you have with Duke Harrington?
All right.
Have? No. No, he is, at the moment, simply a mentor.
I see. Do you desire to have a physical relationship, much like Mizeki is having with his companion?
that's a bold assumption.
Yeah, a very bold assumption, of course. Ori has no clue.
The best thing is Mizeki can still hear you in the ring.
I mean,
Yes.
Ori is like a robot, so he's probably just kind of like, this is what
I'm
biologicals do, right?
processing information. Yeah, Ori has no idea what like
I feel like he's
romantic
gonna be like, are your
relationships entail.
ports compatible?
I don't know if Mizeki's idea of a relationship, if that is indeed what this person is anything like what I would want to have with another person, because Mizeki, ew.
That's
Zerdig will
deeply
jump in.
hurtful.
Yeah, kind of gross. Can we talk about something else? Look at this great new schematic I've got. He's clearly a little uncomfortable.
Look at this beautiful view.
I feel like
Ori
Zerdig
It
holds
has
up
a
one
beautiful
hand.
view.
You
Ori
have to
holds
have
up
the
one hand.
schematic. Yeah.
I
Go
have
ahead.
a follow-up question.
Oh God.
Have all of you experienced romantic relationships prior to now?
Zerdig's just gonna face palm like, oh my gosh, Ori.
You know what, Sadzi? This is a good, beautiful view,
Isn't it nice though? You
right?
can see all the way to the horizon. Mm-hmm.
All the way. That's right over there.
Yep.
I'm sorry,
And
I'm not sure.
all
It's
the
a
way over there too.
beautiful view.
I'm not sure anyone heard me. I was asking if any of the rest of you have also had romantic relationships.
Zerdig will just pat Ori on the shoulder and be like, that's code language for no one wants to talk about it. We don't share those details generally. It's a faux pas for humanoids like us.
Oh, I apologize for my misstep. We haven't really discussed any of this before. I was more curious. Any insight would be appreciated. But I understand if this subject is faux pas. I'm sorry if I have overstepped. But if any of you wish to confide in me the details of romantic relationships, I am very interested to discover the intricacies of that.
I feel like Mizeki's going to talk to Ori a lot.
But once you get out of the ring,
Yeah, later. Like he's not gonna interrupt his being comfortable for it.
Mhm.
But tomorrow he's gonna talk to him a lot, probably with message,
okay.
because it's
Sure.
funnier that way.
What I can tell you tonight is that can bring some of the happiest joys and some of the lowest lows that um, we can experience. And you never know which way it's going to go. You hope for the best, but uh, time is fickle.
I agree with that last statement. Is it because of the complexity of the emotional relationship?
Yeah, uh, it thinking about those people from our lives rekindles those emotions again. It resurfaces those memories. Um, and generally they're very strong memories that are tied to powerful emotions that we're able that like I said, we relive those highs, we relive those lows, sometimes both at the same time, uh, and it can be difficult to handle.
Thank you. That adds some clarity to my question. Thank you for sharing. I understood now that the touchiness of the complexity of answering that question.
I mean, it's not in and of itself a bad question, um, but it's a good way to judge how much to press is if you get a willing answer or similar to what we just experienced of people trying to change the subject can be indicative of the emotions that they're feeling when thinking about people from their past or present. Willingness to talk about it can mean happy and or they've had emotional closure, and unwillingness uh, generally can indicate that there's still some ongoing pains there.
If you have ongoing pains, would you ever seek out another complicated emotional relationship?
Oh, that regularly happens.
Like last week.
There's much to consider with that. Thank you. That has been insightful.
Happy to help. And then he's like, it really is a beautiful scene. And he diverts his topic again.
Oray's going to start pulling out his book and jotting something down.
Okay. Miseki, how long are you wanting to stay in your ring this time?
Um, are we staying for the night? Or are
This
we
is the
still
camp
moving?
you're staying for the night
Yeah.
in, but you've only been
Okay.
traveling 5 hours, and since you went in right when you got there, you will pop out before everybody goes to sleep. I was just wondering if
That's
you want to
true.
pop out early.
He'll probably pop out once the conversation and all calms down a bit.
Okay.
Because he has no wine, and so he's sad. But he's also excited.
And you know that once you're out of the ring, you can summon
Yes.
wine.
Yeah, and he can get more wine when he. This is the problem: is he pops in and then remembers he forgot to summon the wine, and so like it's worth it to stay in there to say inappropriate things and laugh very loudly. But also he wants the wine and the food, and
Okay. So after like 3 or 4 hours, you pop out. So just a
yeah,
little bit
he
early. Okay.
pop back out.
All right. Is anybody doing anything different than the typical meditations that you have been doing? Anybody skipping meditation tonight?
Azurdig will join in.
Oray's joining in.
Elandiel's gonna look back through his pictures of his time before leaving on the trip.
Okay. All right. With that,
Mizeki's
go
going to
ahead.
spend a while talking to Ori about how love and the difference between romantic and physical relationships works, but like with message, so it doesn't disturb everyone constantly because they would probably beat him up.
Okay. Let's have everybody go ahead and roll a percentile dice for me for the night.
78.
89.
62.
25.
Ah, shit. 91.
Oh. Why that? You afraid of what might happen to you, Satsi?
No, why would I be afraid when half the time I wake up and some of my buddies seem traumatized? No, I don't have any trepidation whatsoever.
We're really speedrunning PTSD on this adventure.
Okay. So as you all sit in your meditations and think and watch, Sadzi, you notice as the flames go black and the smoke begins to billow towards you, completely enveloping you. As it does, you feel a strange sensation rising inside your body. The flames goes out, the smoke dissipates. You look at all of your comrades sleeping, and you feel hungry, and they're fresh. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Ooh.
So, that should be fun. Thanks everybody for coming, for hanging out with us. Our
Yeah.
next session should be soon. We'll figure that out offline. But thanks everybody for coming, for hanging out. I really appreciate you all being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
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 Bye.